And so I joined the Army, went to basic training, and during that time, my mother left my father. And she said that she was going to. During my senior year, she had a heart-to-heart with me and said that she was going to leave, but wanted me to graduate high school first. And so I went to basic training, and my mother and father were separated, and my father started stalking my mother and followed her as she was on her way to see me graduate, and ended up stopping the car that she was in and stabbed her to death. And my younger brother and sister were in the back seat of the car. They were 7 and 9 at the time. And so my older brother and sister were in the Army. My brother was in Germany. My sister was actually at Fort McClellan in Alabama. And we kind of all had to come together and figure out what to do. I mean, dealing with the tragedy of my mom's death, having a brother and sister who actually observed it, and, you know, had close family members. My younger brother and sister initially lived with my aunt and uncle, but they couldn't handle them. Their kids were grown and just really didn't work out. And then my younger brother and sister went and lived with my older sister. She got married when she was 21, and so she's 21 and trying to raise a 10 and an 8-year-old at that time, and it was hard. And my younger brother ended up coming to live with me when I first got married, and by then he was, I think, 14, and I mean, it was just really rough. And so much of the hard times I had, even as a young adult, were because of the poverty, the not knowing how to be a grown-up, and not having a mother there to help me be a grown-up. And it was just really hard. And I would just say that the biggest regret that I have is that I never had that educator who could have shown me something different. And don't get me wrong, because I'm very grateful for the life that I have. And you know, when people ask me about it, all I can say is, but God. I mean, because there's just no other explanation. I mean, there's just no other way to explain how I could be the assistant superintendent for Tuscaloosa City Schools right now today after what my life started off as, and after how I felt being in junior high and high school. And so I just want to encourage you all to, you know, put a face on every child, and not just numbers. You know, when we think about our achievement gap, and we think about the poverty levels, and we think about the lack of resources, every one of those situations have faces and names. And every one of them can be something, can be anything they want to be, but they need somebody to believe in them. And they shouldn't have to escape to a book to get that. So I just encourage you all to just remember to put a name and a face to all of our children.